Hey guys, so can anyone start an accounting firm? The honest answer, and plus what to do first. So, a lot of times what happens is that most people want to start an accounting firm, and it really depends on what state you're in, whether you can call yourself an accounting firm, or whether you call yourself a tax firm or bookkeeping firm, right? That's going to come down to your credentials, come down to your background, and again, come down to your state. Now, the biggest thing is that almost anyone can offer accounting services, but not every single person can call themselves like an accounting firm, right? So the real barrier is not always just the credentials. So like for most people, what you should be offering is at least monthly bookkeeping services. You should be offering cleanup projects. You should be offering business like formation. So that means helping people set up an LLC, helping people set up an S corp if you understand how to do that. And it's not that challenging, but it's just something that you do have to know what you're doing, right? Other things can be small business consulting. So in a lot of cases, an accounting firm, especially like a full service accounting firm, tends to be more consultative in nature with all the different things that you can provide, and all is just based on like your background, like what you're good at. I've even had a student like in our mentorship program that he was doing CFO services, right? But he was not a CPA. He was a guy that knew bookkeeping very deeply. He had a lot of business experience, and he was able to even offer in like sales. He was leading his client's sales team too. So one of his clients is paying like 20 grand a month. So it's about like 5 grand for the monthly bookkeeping, about 3 grand for the CFO, and then about, I think it was like the remainder was about for like the sales team. So it was a really cool offer because he just did what he loved, right? The guy loved accounting, he loved bookkeeping, he loved sales. So he got to really marry it all together. Now, again, it's really about understanding like what are you going to be offering first and foremost. Next, gonna be like how are you getting clients. After that, it's just really about like how are you going to be delivering the work. Now, in a lot of cases, how you offer the service will actually go and like influence everything else, right? So let's say, for example, if your goal is to go and convert people to an S corp, you're probably not going to be working with like business owners that are doing $10,000 per year in gross sales, right? You're going to be looking for companies doing 300, 500, maybe $1 million to a certain degree, but they're still operating like an LLC. They don't have things like organized, so it's going to be a slightly different type of client. If you're trying to get be someone's first cleanup, like maybe they just got like their business growing, it's their first year, they just finished it, they're going to the second year, they're trying to become more official, okay, they're probably gonna need to clean up. Versus if you want maybe a cleanup project that's a lot larger, right? You might be going after a bigger company where the previous bookkeeper, previous accountant, whoever did things incorrectly, right? So that's a huge cleanup. Those could be anywhere between 10,000, 15, 20, $30,000, but you're not going to be going after very tiny companies to do that, right? They have to be doing a 500K, a million, 2 million, 3 million in order for you to do it. Because oftentimes when it comes to bookkeeping, like bookkeeping pricing is very proportional to the work and to like the size of the company that you're dealing with. A lot of people misinterpret what I say when I say we charge high rates for bookkeeping as like we are ripping people off. It's not like that. We just know how to select the right person. And that's linked to how do you get clients because one methodology, one location is not necessarily going to bring you the same client. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm gonna go and I want to get like a client that's doing like $5 million per year. In most cases, me going to a local business networking group where everyone in the room is just starting the business is not gonna be the most conducive place for me to go and get the clients that I'm looking for at that size. Now, that's not to say that those small businesses can't refer me the right size client, but if I'm going to go and actually target those larger clients, I'd rather do it on a platform like maybe like a LinkedIn, maybe even a country club. I was going to go do networking like that, right? So it has to be based on what are you selling is going to determine like how do you go about getting the clients and also your delivery too, right? So if you're doing something like very like high volume, but it's just very laborious, let's say like tax preparation, right? You're doing a bunch of individual tax preparation, that's you're going to get capped out a lot faster and burned out a lot faster than let's say you have three clients each paying you $3,000 a month, right? It's going to be a much different journey. It's going to be a much different delivery path, right? For the tax preparation, if you have 200 clients, you're going to need some staff people to help you out with there. Versus for bookkeeping or even for CFO, if you had a 3 grand a month client, you could probably do that on your own, right? So it's like you have to be able to balance that. And those are like the real barrier when it talks about like, can anyone start an accounting firm? And one thing that's important, so you don't necessarily have to have a huge amount of experience, but you should have like skills, right? If you have skills, if you don't have experience, you need skill set. If you have experience, you naturally will have greater skill set, but it doesn't have to be like one for the other. A lot of people like maybe they've done like books for their parents' business, or maybe they've done like books like at like a CPA firm, or maybe they've worked the company around for a long time. I don't have my own business experience. Okay, you might not have had a your client, but you've been doing this for a little while at various capacities, right? So that means you have the skill set, and when you have the skill set, you can tell the stories about how you develop that skill set, and that comes and turns into experience, right? You don't have to tell people, "Oh, I have 50,000 clients." That's not necessarily needed, right? In the moment, they're just looking for, "Can you help me specifically do what I need you to do?" If the answer is yes, you're good. Cool. And that's like just really thinking about, can you start an accounting firm and can anyone start an accounting firm with a big picture positioning, right? So also, if you ever want some help growing your business, like maybe even trying to grow your accounting firm, but just not quite going the way that you hoped, or you thought you'd be a lot further ahead than where you are right now, click the link inside the description below to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.